Nope.
The team received a call around 9 p.m. last Friday. A group of construction workers were repairing an elevator shaft in an unsealed warehouse when they noticed the bloodstains and pungent stench. Then, a rotting arm dropped onto someone's head. They immediately dialed the emergency number, and we arrived 25 minutes later. The corpse was in the second stage of decay, and moving the elevator had partially dismembered it. It took the forensic team over 4 hours to scrape and extract every tidbit of the corpse. In the meantime, I, as the lead investigator, directed my team to brush for fingerprints, conduct interviews, and snap photographs. Typical investigation prep work. Perfunctorily, I deducted that the body belonged to an upper-middle-class, white-collar worker. Male, Caucasian, in his mid-30s. Casually, I crouched down and examined what was left of his neck and head. A blunt weapon had crushed the skull in, but I could confidently say that the actual cause of death was strangulation. Although the corpse's clothes had been shredded by the machinery, I recognized the trademark fabric from a luxury brand I frequently wore. I had distant memories of owning a similar shirt and tie, but my migraine made it difficult for me to remember anything with precision. We recorded witness statements and went home for the weekend after that. The next Monday, my supervisor, Patrick, called me into his office. Forensics had easily ID'd the corpse and found fingerprints on a blood-stained sledgehammer laying nearby. There was a horrible pounding sensation on my skull, and I was sipping my third coffee, but I immediately reported in. Looking me straight in the eyes, Patrick said, "This case is batshit." Feeling more alert, I peered at him from over the rim of my coffee mug. Patrick had a habit of classifying cases from boring to batshit. So far, the only case that ever earned the batshit rating was when 20-something infants were birthed and eaten by a pair of sisters and their father. This was my first time experiencing a batshit case. Looks like a regular smash and dash to me, I offered. Though I hadn't reviewed the forensic report yet, I could imagine what happened. The perpetrator began by hitting the victim on the head from behind. The victim fell but wasn't dead, so the perpetrator strangled him with his tie. Afterwards, the perpetrator tugged the body up the stairs and threw the corpse down the elevator shaft. Based on what I knew so far, I would point fingers at one of the construction workers. The perp, likely male, was strong enough to move the corpse of a healthy man and familiar enough with the layout to know how to access the elevator shaft. The victim scratched the perpetrator while he was under attack, so we have DNA of both the victim and the perpetrator. Patrick cleared his throat. His micro-expressions told me that he felt extremely uncomfortable and was holding back important information pertaining to the case. We were easily able to find an exact match to the DNA of both the victim and the murderer. Great. I hadn't contributed enough to claim any credit on this case, which meant I was still one case behind my rival, but hey, it also meant one less crime to deal with. My migraine from last Wednesday was distracting enough as it is. I turned back to Patrick. In that case, do you want to discuss the Pomestic lock room murder? I interviewed the sister-in-law, and her testimonies aren't matching up. The perp's DNA matches your profile." Patrick's words tumbled into each other, and then he blurted out, "We found your fingerprints on the weapon, and found your skin underneath the victim's fingernails." "Excuse me?" My coffee mug met the table with a loud clang, and brown liquid sloshed out. This wouldn't be the first time a criminal tried to frame an investigator for a murder, but it was the first time it happened to me. "So, who have I supposedly killed?" "Well, that's the batshit part," said Patrick. "The victim's DNA is also a perfect match with your profile." You know the feeling when someone says something so damn incredulous that you have nothing to say in response? You just kind of open and close your mouth a few times, wishing that you had a witty comeback. It's speechlessness mixed with disbelief and irritation. Irritation because, come on boss, it's Monday and not April Fool's Day, so stop pulling my leg. "I'm dead serious." With a grunt, Patrick handed me a folder. Forensic results and investigation notes. "Well, maybe not dead, but I am serious." Facial reconstruction revealed my face. DNA was an exact match. Even identical twins couldn't achieve this level of exact DNA match. The shirt, reconstructed by technology, was the same one I wore to work last Wednesday, which was also the approximated day of death. Clasping his fingers in front of his face, Patrick went on to say, "Since you're the best investigator we have, you can help on the case." So let me get this straight. You're telling me I murdered myself, threw myself down an elevator shaft, left a ludicrous amount of evidence, and now I'm going to head the investigation on my own murder? I couldn't keep the sarcasm out of my voice. Obviously, someone, somewhere, royally screwed up something. Probably forensics. Typically, they were a reliable bunch, but they occasionally arrived at bizarre conclusions. They once ID'd the corpse of a gorilla as the still-living former president of the United States, after all. "We are waiting for the test results of a second examination." What I respect about Patrick is that the man can always keep his calm. Professional equanimity. "But I would like to include you in this investigation, yes." A part of me is confident that a second examination would yield more reasonable results. But the part of my brain that usually knew better was trying to tell me something different. I stared at the pictures, looking into the lifeless eyes peeking out from between folds of bloated flesh. My head spun. Well, if I were to conduct this investigation, I suppose I could start with the scratches on my forearm. The angles of the marks made sense if someone scratched me while I tried to strangle them from behind. Moreover, I had some friction burns on the palm of my hand. The world is truly a strange place at times. Hello, dear listener, and thank you for joining me in this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to smash that like button across the head with a sledgehammer. And if you loved it, be sure to find that subscribe button and strangle it with its own tie. And guys, if you really loved it, find that notification bell and throw it down an elevator shaft. Two things I need to address. First of all, it's that time in the summer where the cicadas come out at night, which may affect my recording. Let me know in the comments below if you heard anything different this time. And second, we are less than 100 subscribers away from hitting 14,000. Now, when we hit 13,000 a little while back, I told you guys I would only be hosting giveaways every 1,000 subscribers. So you know what that means. Stay tuned, because if we hit 14,000 by next week, I will be hosting another t-shirt giveaway. Oh, and one more thing, next week is my birthday. So if you guys can help me get to 14,000, that would be an amazing birthday gift. Alright everybody, until next time, remember to stay safe out there. I'll be seeing you in the next video.